What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dennis Nderitu live in Nderitu Basketball HQ. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I mean, it's the playoffs. The playoffs are that time of the year when you see them games, you just get excited, and you see them. And let me just go through the matchups real quick. So the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns series. So the Phoenix Suns swept the Denver Nuggets in 4 games. I actually never expected this to happen. I mean, the reigning MVP getting swept like that. I mean, the Denver Nuggets made the conference finals last year and they took the Lakers. They were beating the Lakers in five. And yeah, we all know the way the Denver Nuggets at the comeback is. They came back down from 3-1 deficits between the Jazz and the Clippers, but fell the Lakers in 5 games. That was last postseason. With this postseason, I mean, I never expected this to happen. I expected the Denver Nuggets to at least be able to take this series to at least 7 games, but I think the Jamal Murray injury really set them off from the deep end because they got swept by the Phoenix Suns. You know, CP3, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne, Jay Crowder, that squad, man, is I don't know. They're just a dark horse team when they're just coming in, and I actually never expected that to happen because my pick to win that series was the Denver Nuggets. I never expected the Phoenix Suns to have a chance, but hey, they proved me wrong. They swept the Denver Nuggets in 4 games. I mean, that was crazy. Then the Utah Jazz was the LA Clippers. You know, the Utah Jazz out of the gate they won game one and game two. The LA Clippers won game three. I mean, the LA Clippers they're in a similar position that they were in the Dallas Mavericks series because I remember game one and game two they went to the Dallas Mavericks, and game three and game four went to the LA Clippers. Then they split the games. Game five, game six, then game seven was the deciding game. Game five, the Lakers versus Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks won game five, and game six and game seven went to the Clippers. So I feel the Clippers are in the similar predicament they were in the Dallas Mavericks series. So I don't expect anything less than 7 games from this series because I feel the LA Clippers have the necessary star power with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Rajon Rondo. I don't know. But the Utah Jazz, man, they got the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. They got a stud in Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Six Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson. I feel they have what it takes to do something in this series to at least push it to at least 7 games to beat the Clippers or finish them off quickly. But we all know that's not gonna be an easy task with the LA Clippers because they know the LA Clippers, man. They're on a revenge season and they don't want to lose any they don't want to lose, so it's not in their best interest to lose this series. So the Utah Jazz and LA Clippers, I don't know who I can pick here in this series, but I wouldn't be surprised if this Clippers won this series and they matched up with the Phoenix Suns in the conference finals. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But heading over to the East, you already know my favorite series. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks versus Brooklyn Nets. Bro, I am not giving up on my Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks at least tied up the series. I mean, when I still saw game one and game two, I was like, yo, Giannis doesn't have help. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday better step up and play well because if they don't, it's gonna be a tall ask because Giannis can't shoot and he can be shut down if the right defense has been set and it's not gonna look for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not gonna look good for the Milwaukee Bucks if they were swept like the Denver Nuggets. So I just like the way the Milwaukee Bucks came back and won both home games. So the Brooklyn Nets won game one, game two, Milwaukee Bucks game three, game four. So the series is gonna go 7 games, no doubt. But heading on to the Philadelphia and Atlanta Hawks series, I feel the way the Atlanta Hawks stunned the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, that it just kind of woke them up because Philadelphia has never gone into a funk like that. So game two and game three, absolute domination on their end, no, on their own unorthodox way, and Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia 2 games to one, and I feel like the Sixers. I feel like the Sixers, man. They just have to come in and dominate the Atlanta Hawks to get to the conference finals because man, this trust the process thing ain't gonna cut it if you can't make it to the NBA finals or even at least the conference finals because Joel Embiid, the closest he got to the conference finals was in 2019 when Kawhi Leonard stopped him from reaching there with that miracle of a shot that bounced like 1,000 times on the rim. So I mean that was just surreal and historic. So yeah, that's the thing I can say about that series. I expect the Philadelphia 76ers to beat the Atlanta Hawks, and I don't expect anything less than that. On to, but I mean, on to other stories. I feel like the Brooklyn Nets are gonna suffer a bit because Kyrie Irving went down with an injury, James Harden went down with an injury, and so the narrative is gonna be like, can KD take this team to the finals? Because if he can't, I mean, it's gonna reflect poorly on his resume because those rings he got in Golden State, guys are gonna spin a narrative and say that he didn't win that rings, he needed a super team to win. But I feel KD has what it takes to take that team to the finals. But I'm still rooting for the Bucks. But I don't know, man. If the Nets win, it's gonna be okay. I mean, my Lakers lost to Phoenix Suns in 6 games. I'm not complaining, but it was pretty it wasn't looking good for the Lakers this season. So yeah, I mean, then Kyrie Irving. I just hope that injury isn't that bad because if it's bad, I mean, it's gonna hurt him. It's gonna hurt the championship aspirations for the Nets because KD needs Kyrie and Harden to be on the court because he needs them guys to play because one man can carry a team to the finals and also win the finals. So or even carry the team past Milwaukee Bucks because the Milwaukee Bucks squad isn't here to play around. You've got guys like you've got guys like Drew Holiday, you've got guys like Chris Middleton who are gonna punch their ticket and try to take this team further. And when you're the lone star leading a team, I mean it's gonna be a tall ask for Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant is not a LeBron James. A LeBron James is different from a Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a scoring machine. I mean he can get you like 25 points easy. But a LeBron James guy, that guy is just built to lead his team and utilize all his pieces that are necessarily needed on the court. So let me just give a rundown on the game that happened today morning on the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Brooklyn Nets real quick. Let me just highlight a few things that happened in that game. Without further ado, man, let me just get to it. So the Bucks kept up the strong play at home to tap the series at 2-2 heading to Game 5 on Tuesday. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks in 34 points on 14 of 26 shooting, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Chris Middleton followed up with 19 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Drew Holiday tallied 14 points, 9 assists, and 3 rebounds, while PJ Tucker added 13 points, 7 rebounds, and a steal. Meanwhile, KD, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant led the Nets with 28 points on 9 of 25 shooting, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal. Despite leaving midway through the second quarter, Kyrie Irving was Nets' next highest scorer with 11 points, 5 of 11 shooting. Blake Griffin added 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal, while Jeff Green and Joe Harris added 8 points each. So, I mean, the Nets weren't that bad, but the way Kyrie landed on his right ankle, I mean, it really hurt the momentum for the Nets, and the Bucks capitalized on that and tied up the series. So yeah, but I feel like if Kyrie was playing, there's a high likely chance that the Nets will have gone up 3-1 against the Bucks. So yeah, that's my sentiment on it. Although I'm supporting the Bucks, but I feel like if the Nets were in full strength and they were shooting pretty well, the Bucks wouldn't stand a chance in that game. So yeah, I mean that's the series. But so let me go through the Phoenix Suns versus the Denver Nuggets game because I still can't believe the Phoenix Suns are in the Western Conference Finals. Actually, the West is actually the hardest conference in basketball, but they still pulled it off. I mean, that was just crazy for me. And without further ado, man, let me just get to it. This win for the Phoenix Suns advanced them to the Western Conference Finals, completing the sweep over Denver. They took control of this game behind a 28 and 22 first quarter, holding the lead for the final 45 minutes. Phoenix shot 52% from the field, 29 of 31 from the free throw line, while Denver Nuggets shot 46% from the field and 14 of 21 from the charity stripe. That's from the free throw line, man. CP3 tallied 37 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, making 14 of his 19 shots. Devin Booker collected 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. Michael Bridges amassed 14 points and 6 boards, while Jay Crowder had 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. I mean, it's pretty good. Will Barton led the Nuggets with 25 points and 5 rebounds. Nikola Jokic had 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists, but was ejected in the third quarter. I mean, this ejection really was a huge blow for the Denver Nuggets, man. So yeah, I mean, him getting ejected in the third quarter and leaving the fourth quarter. I mean, it was and leaving the fourth quarter like that with the other players to take over. I mean, it was just pretty difficult. And Michael Porter Jr. total 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. Yeah, man. I mean, that was the series, and the way it happened. I mean, it wasn't the ending that I really wanted to see. I never wanted to see the Denver Nuggets go down like that, especially when they had a league MVP on the team. I mean, it was very sad to see. So yeah. So I mean, Denver went home. Cancun on 4. Phoenix Suns championship or bust, just like I said. So yeah. So let me just go through what the Clippers and Jazz did previously in their game before they match up against this game. And real quick, let me just go through it. So this was in light of Game Three that the Clippers went up, not went up, like at least won one game. So the Utah Jazz are still leading, but the Clippers won this game. So let me just go through the game where the Clippers won and see what the Clippers did and see if they can do the same or replicate the same in this game four, where they'll be at home. So the Clippers expanded an early 4 point lead to 15 points by halftime. The Jazz could only put a 4 point dent in their deficit during the third quarter, and Los Angeles proceeded to add another 15 points to its advantage in the final period. The hosts were highly efficient, 56% from shooting 52.6%, including 52.8% from beyond the arc. So the home team in this case was the Los Angeles Clippers because the Los Angeles Clippers were unable to win game one and game two in the Utah's home floor. So yeah, so in this game, in game three, when they were playing at home, the Clippers were able to shoot well and they're able to win one game, although they're down. But let's see if they're going to be able to tie up the series or the Utah Jazz are going to be able to steal one game on the road. So that's that. Donovan Mitchell's 930 points, which he partly complemented with 5 rebounds and 4 assists, led the Jazz. Joe Ingles' stat line included 19 points and 4 rebounds. Jordan Clarkson, coming off the bench, the reigning sixth man of the year, contributed with 14 points and 3 rebounds. Rudy Gobert and Royce O'Neal posted matching 12-point tallies while recording 10 and 6 rebounds respectively. Kawhi Leonard's 34 points, 12 rebound, double-double led the Clippers. Paul George Paul George's night included 31 points and 5 assists. I mean, playoff P is no longer way off P or pandemic P. Now it's the real playoff P. And Nicholas Batum tally included 17 points and 7 rebounds. So out of the gate, you can see both them guys showed up. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I mean, all eyes on LA are on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. These guys better mesh in quickly, take care of the Utah Jazz, although they are the one seed. I mean, the Utah Jazz, although they have the reigning defensive player of the year, actually the three-time defensive player of the year, I'm not sure if they can match up pretty well with the Los Angeles Clippers, because we all know the Los Angeles Clippers, how tough they can play based on the series that we just saw with the Dallas Mavericks. But I feel like if Donovan Mitchell has an efficient game in this game four, is able to shoot over at least 50% from the field and at least 45% from three, they will be able to pass and be able to make it past the Clippers to go down 3-1. So the Utah Jazz just have to pray that the Los Angeles Clippers have an inefficient game. So yeah, I mean, this game, not sure who's gonna win this game. Actually, if someone asks me who's gonna win the Utah versus LA Clippers game, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can give you a straight answer because man, I mean both teams are stacked in their own way, and it's pretty difficult to call. And also the Philadelphia versus Atlanta. I'm pretty sure if the Philadelphia 76ers are gonna go up 3-1. So my pick to go 3-1 is the Philadelphia 76ers. I can't wait to see this matchup between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks. That is if the Milwaukee Bucks are able to beat the Brooklyn Nets. But the series is going to be decided in 7 games, and I don't know, man. Maybe the Bucks can finish the Nets off in 6. Pray that I pray that the Bucks are able to do that. But 6 or 7 games, I just picked the Bucks either way. But this Utah and LA Clippers, I don't know if the LA Clippers have been able to overcome their demons of not making it past the second round, because the whole narrative, the whole franchise, since franchise history, the LA Clippers have never made it past the second round. So them making it past the second round is going to be historic for their franchise. But I feel the Jazz are not gonna go down without a fight. They don't. The Jazz didn't make the one seed for no reason, because these guys are here to ball. These guys are here to play, and I don't think there's nothing that's gonna stop the Utah Jazz from beating the LA Clippers. But man, if the LA Clippers get taken out by the Utah Jazz, I mean the slander will be surreal. I mean this thing, they better win this series. The LA Clippers, there's too much riding on this series, and not only the series, they better make the finals and win it, if that's possible. Because if the LA Clippers don't make it past the Utah Jazz and don't make it past the Phoenix Suns, I mean it's gonna reflect poorly on them as a franchise, and they're gonna be forced. Their hand is gonna be forced to change some things up. I know Paul George signed that max deal of 226 million. So the guy who's gonna walk in free agency and exercise his player option may possibly be Kawhi Leonard if they don't make it to the finals and win the championship. I feel Kawhi Leonard is gonna walk, and it's gonna I feel it's gonna work. But if they do win the title, that is, if they win the title, I feel like if they win the title, Kawhi Leonard stays, and they try to run it back and go back to back. But it's gonna be a tough ask, because that means the LA Clippers have to beat the Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns, and any the team that's gonna get to the finals coming out of the East. So I mean, there's too much on the line for the Clippers. If the Clippers are not gonna make it, they're not gonna win. I mean, it's gonna be very tough, man. Very very tough for them, especially in the off season. Also, of course, the slander that NBA Twitter is gonna lay upon them, even yours truly, especially when they blew a 3-1 lead. I mean, what are the jokes gonna be, right? if they don't like make it past the second round against the Jazz. I mean, so that means if the Jazz win this series, that means the LA Clippers were not able to beat the Denver Nuggets and the Jazz. That is if they don't beat the Jazz. But I don't know, man. At least they got a playmaking guard and Rajon Rondo and no Patrick Beverly, because Patrick Beverly is just a pest on defense, and we're not sure if that guy can really control the tempo of the offense, because I feel temporarily the Clippers were able to solve their playmaking guard problem by adding Rajon Rondo. Actually, playoff Rondo is going to be active for the Clippers the same way he was active for the Lakers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Jazz, because at least there's some playmaking. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are not good. They're good two-way players, but I don't feel like they have what it takes to be good playmakers. They need a playmaker to orchestrate the offense for them, and that's what the same sentiment I had is this. This is the same sentiment I had when Kawhi Leonard was at the Raptors, because the Raptors were constructed to win a title with Kawhi Leonard at the helm. But when Kawhi Leonard was given a playmaking guard in Kyle Lowry, and the number two option for that team, okay, the guy who was fighting alongside Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, that was Pascal Siakam, the sidekick to Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. That sort of big three where we have a good playmaking guard in Kyle Lowry and a good two-way player in Paul George and Pascal Siakam on the rise. That big three, the way it was constructed, it utilized Kawhi Leonard was able to take advantage of that and be able to at least win the title and not have like a lot of playmaking responsibilities. Because the playmaking responsibilities, if you have a guy right there and that guy is able to do some playmaking, it's gonna be easy for him to be able to get some buckets there. So yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I feel about this game, and I mean the series, and I feel the way the addition, although they traded away Lemon Pepper Lou, although they traded Lemon Pepper Lou and they got back Rajon Rondo from the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, it's a good get, but I don't know, man. I just have a huge question mark on what they can do right now moving forward, and that's the thing. I mean, there's just a huge question mark on that series. I can't. It's too tough to call for me. Really, although I've been following the Clippers for pretty close. Aside from the few additions that they made, man, it's too tough to call. Actually, I was not even confident with the way the LA Clippers handled the Dallas Mavericks series, because I felt like if Luka Doncic had an efficient Kristaps Porzingis by his side, I feel the Dallas Mavericks will have made it past the Clippers in the first round, because Kristaps Porzingis was so absent and inactive in that series. I did not see any good plays. This guy is 7 foot. He's a 7 footer who, I mean, who's on a max deal and didn't produce anything significant for the Dallas Mavericks. And it was very hard to watch, because the Dallas Mavericks, with Luka Doncic orchestrating the offense, we needed Kristaps Porzingis to be that guy who's gonna be alongside Luka Doncic, but that wasn't the case, and that's why they lost in 7 games. But in the Utah Jazz, although Donovan Mitchell went down with a slight injury, we I don't know. I mean, Donovan Mitchell. I'm not sure if that injury is very severe to the point that it's gonna hinder his performance. But I just hope he comes back. And although even if he doesn't come back, I just hope they doesn't they the Utah Jazz won't be able to fall down and be able to get back up. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And I feel confident. I feel confident in this playoffs, because there are just there have just been a lot of surprises, especially moving forward. I've seen teams just making it past the second round, making it to the conference finals that I never expected. Actually, the Suns, I never expected them to get back up. And yeah, I mean, a lot of surprises. So if you guys like this stream, I will be inviting guys on the stream just to talk about basketball and be able to get some different perspectives, different opinions on the game moving forward. And yeah, man. With that being said, man, I just can't wait for the series to see what team is gonna make it past the second round and make it to the conference finals. And also, I'll be bringing guys on board to discuss matters NBA playoffs, and also, yeah, I'll also be doing these streams frequently so that I can be able to get back to the position I was. I know I've not been consistent in my streams, but I'm trying to see if this there's a new format that I can use to be able to keep track and keep up to date with matters NBA playoffs. So yeah, man. With that being said, man, I'm out. Peace.